Hello. Oh my goodness. Look at you. Here we are. Whew. Let me just land here for a moment and breathe with you. This is so good. I've had one of the most creative days in a very long time today. And oh my gosh, this whole month, like this whole trimester has been so creative on my side. And I just really want to celebrate this with you first before I say anything else, because there's just so much goodness coming through on Monday. The very first book, like I'm going to be a published author officially on Monday. I'm so excited. Please come to the book launch. I would love to see you there. I'll be with the other women, so it's a co-author book, so we will be reading. Hello, Kimberly, so nice to see you. I will be reading a part of that the chapter that I wrote for this book. It's called Goddess. It's just amazing. I can't wait. It's going to be on Monday. You have all the links below if you want to join. And yes, I really wanted to come in and speak to you about the spiritual secrets of leadership. And what have been my spiritual secrets of leadership? What is it that really enabled me to stretch my capacity of showing up, becoming visible in my mission, and also in leaping, right? Because I had a whole other career before, and I leapt off that career without a parachute. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was just following my calling. There will be more of that revelation in the chapter as well. It's kind of like an autobiography. It is an autobiography, absolutely. It's a part of my story that I'll be sharing in the book, but I really wanted to speak into this because I feel that there's a lot of you here who are also, envisioning yourselves as spiritual leaders. You have a mission. You feel like, oh my goodness, I know there's something moving through me and I want to bring that out into the world. And so I really wanted to speak into that today and, offer you a little bit of, like a peek through the curtain and into my world and what it is that really enabled me to step forward into this, right? To step into my soul mission, to step into my destiny as a coach and facilitator, as an embodiment muse, really offering women containers where they can literally release their heavy weights and they can step into their authenticity and their expression, into their feminine poison power. And so thank you so much, Kimberly. Oh my goodness. Kimberly, if you don't know, is one of my beautiful online followers here already for a couple of years. I think you've been around. It's so nice to see you here. Oh my goodness, I love you so much. And I know that she won a prize draw. This is a lucky girl. She won one of my prize draws many years ago when I was still hosting my free containers, and so she was in one of them. Oh my goodness. So happy to see you. So yes, our spiritual secrets to leadership, what are they, right? And so I will give you 3, because I feel that, yes, just also for the length of the video, I don't want this to be like 3 hours. This is obviously, I'm super passionate about this and I would talk to you for hours around this. I absolutely love to speak about leadership and to inspire other women to step into the forefront and truly, get into their leadership shoes and, shine in the world and really bring their life's mission into the world, because I feel like that is really where the transformation will happen for this beautiful, beautiful planet that we live on. And it's also what will make the difference. So, okay, so the first step for me has really been, I feel, one of the most important is purification, yes, where we really get to heal and integrate and release, right? Like we release the programming that we've received from our upbringing, sometimes self-inflicted programming, yes, and we purify that. We let it go, right? Letting go of all these beliefs and these stories that I have to keep small, that I have to stay where I am, that I have to keep in my lane, that I have to follow what is being said, right? Even though I had, chosen a career that is more of an artistic career, like I was a dance teacher and a choreographer, even within that frame, although it was so revolutionary in terms of my upbringing and what, you know, most people in my world were doing, it was a very different lay line, if you will, in terms of what was already being done. But even within that frame, there were rules and there were codes that I adopted, although they didn't make sense for me personally. So a lot of the part that we really have to endure and have to navigate through is this you know, process of purification, of letting go of the things that we just adopted because we believe this is the thing, this is what it's supposed to be like, this is what it's supposed to look like, you know, a leader is like this and they have to do all of these things, right? And please let me know if you have met this. Like, what were the programs that you know you have adopted that were actually, you know, keeping you away from your true mission, the thing that you knew you had to be doing in this world? And so for me, the first carving of the path was really to allow myself to step into an artistic career because nobody had done that before me. Yes. And so, and then once I was there, right, because that's, you know, it becomes the standard, it becomes your new normal. Even within that framework, there will still be programs that we enable ourselves to accept, although they are not a match for, you know, what we're really, really wanting to do. And so the purification process really comes in for us to actually heal deeply, for us to see through the illusions, yes, for ourselves, and also see through the illusions of this third dimensional world, yes? So when I really say spiritual secrets, it also means that we have to awaken to the fact that we're not just a human, right, having a human experience, but we also have all of this spiritual support system. And that in and of itself was a whole like purification process as well, right? Like to actually accept that I had spiritual gifts, to actually accept that there is a bigger force holding the field with me and that I don't have to do all of this all by myself. So the purification also is coming in as awakening to my spiritual gifts, awakening to my intuition, awakening to this primal calling that is living and breathing inside of me. And that makes no sense in the rational, logical mind, that I cannot justify with that mental framework. However, I know it to be true, yes? And so that knowing it to be true becomes clearer and clearer the more we purify and the more we release that programming, the more we let go of the stories, you know, that makes sense to navigate in a third dimensional world. But once we awaken to the fact that we are a soul having a human experience, right, there's all of a sudden this huge dimension that opens up for us. And so the purification process also enables us to really receive that energy, to receive the energy of the big grand mission of our destiny that we are carrying, right? The reason why we actually incarnated here, yes? And all the information that we then get to receive, yes? So purification really is a way for us to, you know, open up the frameworks of our physical, emotional, and mental body so that we can hold more space for this intuitive spiritual awareness and consciousness, and that we can basically be penetrated fully, yes, with this cosmic masculine that is desiring to, you know, seed life, right? To seed our dreams and our desires into us, and so that we begin to trust, to follow that inner calling and that inner guidance and that inner intuitive framework, right? And so all of that is a learning process, yes? So with the purification process also comes this learning process, yeah? Step number 2. Ooh, I have an itchy nose today. I was out in nature. I was doing a photo shoot today with, you know, some amazing, oh my gosh, like, those pictures are going to be amazing. I can't wait to share them with you when they're ready. Anyway, step number 2 for me has been to learn about the cosmic laws and the cosmic principles, specifically the cosmic principle of love, like the cosmic love principle, which is basically bringing in union this energy of the feminine and the masculine, yes, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and how they're really having this dance together, and also to understand the discernment and the distinctions between these two energies, and to notice which parts of these energies are actually coming from a place of lightness and, from the fifth dimension, right, where it is an empowered wheel that is wired for creation, and which parts of these two energies that are actually for, set in a downward facing spiral, which is bringing us lower into the survival mechanisms of this world. Yes. And understanding how to basically climb up the ladder or down the ladder by command and by by knowing and understanding. Yes. So really learning the distinctions between these two energies has been transformational for me and my journey on, in leadership. Why? Because it really enabled me to, it's like a lens, right? You're looking through a lens all the time. And it's just at one point when you learn about these energies and you understand, well, one is receiving and the other one is giving. Yes, the one is being where the other one is more in the directive force field. Yes, one is in the softness, in the receptivity, in the healing, in the connection, in the, the receiving of love and the embodying of love, where the other one is in the structuring, the projecting, the planning. Yes. So it's like a forward moving energy, whereas the other one is more of like an expansive, like expanding nature. It has like this wavy nature about it. So these are just like textures. Yes. Like, so those two energies exist within everything in the universe, whether you are aware of it or not, they exist. And when we learn how to really distinguish between these two specific blueprints of energy, we also understand how they merge and how they condense. And we basically begin to create this dance with the universe, yes, where we begin to polarize with the universe with these two frequencies, yes, these two very distinct energetics. And of course, they're always merging because, life is always creating. But the specific piece where I feel was really transformational for me as a leader was that when I knew that, and I studied these energies consistently and deeply, I realized that we can position ourselves on a map. Yes. And so by knowing how we position ourselves on the map, we can also read how other people position themselves on the map, which then teaches us how to lean into the communication. Yes. What is a feminine way of communicating, and what is a masculine way of communication? And when we understand these two frameworks, right, of the feminine and the masculine, it enables us to have, exchanges of energy with other people. And then, of course, when we add this distinction between the empowered masculine and feminine and the disembodied or, wounded feminine and masculine, we can basically, position ourselves with consciousness and intention on this map. And we can allow these, lower frequencies of the feminine and the masculine, we can allow and invite them to rise with us. Yes. So instead of having this downward facing spiral where, we're chasing each other down because we're losing energy and we're always surviving and trying to survive, instead of, doing this by default, we can catch ourselves whenever we're going down the spiral, and we can position ourselves in a very specific and unique way and actually call others to sit at the table with us. Yes, to have a straight conversation and exchange. And when I say communication and conversation, it's nothing else but actually exchange of energy. Yes, right now we have an exchange of energy. I'm speaking, you're receiving my message, you're integrating this, maybe you're also going to be expressing yourself, right? And then I can, receive your energy and receive your expression and feed back to you. And so all of this basically creates a cycle of communication. And when we have a cycle of communication with energy, we are basically creating an energy. We're creating a reality. And when we're creating this reality, what really happens, yes, is that we actually begin to see that we are the creative force. And this is really crucial because when it comes to really stepping into leadership, this is one of the biggest secrets that most people don't even know, yes? But when you know that you know, then you can basically position yourself in a very distinct and specific way. And so this spiritual secret for leadership for me has been absolutely transformational because it changed all the relationships that I had. It changed specifically the relationships that I was embodying with my clients. And so it really was this way of understanding where I can continuously ascend in my energy and receive more energy and create more of my own alignment, yes? And so I'm also weaving this into my business, into my life mission. And it's like we basically just, it's like we're fine-tuning like a clockwork, yes, and we're fine-tuning it for the specific direction and orientation of creation, yes. And so that is really where we basically begin to receive the penetration of this divine masculine that I spoke about in the beginning, yes, the penetration of consciousness, and we see how we actually are the receiving vessel for that, and we project it forth into our dreams, into our desired reality, into our desired fulfilled destiny, right? Our mission fulfilled. And so there is a way on how we can do this in alignment, yes, so that it actually creates naturally with us and for us, yes, rather than it being something where you're also, you're chasing, you're trying to understand, but you don't really know, yes. And so positioning myself in this divine feminine masculine blueprint, understanding how it works, understanding where I am, right, on this within this framework, it really enabled me to step into a high quality level of leadership, yes, where it's not just, me trying to attempt to be seen for, a new idea that I have, but where it is a union of receiving the cosmic masculine consciousness, right, that is desiring to come through me, tuning into my intuition and allowing that to be created through me and as me, yes. And so this understanding of feminine and masculine energy principles also ties back into this cosmic blueprint that we are all living in, which is a forever expanding universe. Yes, we are continuously and always expanding, and we can use this natural organic energy to actually create more from this alignment with the wheel of creation rather than the wheel of survival. Yes, and so what happens is that everything becomes easier over time because the more we embody that alignment, the easier it becomes to create more from that. Yes, and so these energies, they build on themselves, and this is really how we use less and less of our human life force, and we use more of the cosmic, natural aligned creation. Yes, we use that field in order to create more. Yeah. And so this is really where we begin to leverage deeper layers of financial abundance. We begin to leverage deeper layers of empowered relationships. Yes, this is where suddenly everything begins to be in creation mode. Yes, we create and create and create and create. And it's just always being created through us without it actually leaching our energy. Yes, and this is really where step number one, yes, the purification process becomes highly relevant, because if that hasn't been fully installed, we're still going to be working in the mechanisms of survival. Yeah. And then number three, for me, has really been like the spiritual secret, yes, to leadership has been to be in my human. Yes. And that's like, it may sound a little counterintuitive because they're like, wait, Lizzie, you were talking about spiritual secrets. Like, how is a spiritual secret being in your human? Well, this is really where leadership becomes relevant. Yes. The reason why you incarnated into this life isn't just to have a spiritual experience. It is also to have a deeply manifested shape and form in the way that things come through you. And so it is highly important for you to be deeply anchored into this reality as well. Yes, and bring those gifts that we, collect from our spiritual awakening, bring them here. Bring them here as human, and actually test and, trial these lessons that we keep learning over and over, and have a trial here in this dimension and see, how does it work for me? Yes, not how it works for everybody else. How does this that I learned, that I've collected from, this fifth dimensional consciousness, how does this work for me in the third dimension? Yes. And that is one of the most powerful steps that we can take as a leader, because what I see a lot is that we have spiritual leaders who are fantastic. They have, incredible teachings, yes, but the embodiment is missing. And I truly believe that one of my biggest secrets, spiritual secrets, has been to embody in this body, in these relationships, all of these cosmic awarenesses that we have, right, as we go through our awakening journey. How do we bring it here? Yes. How do these laws work in such a way that we actually create businesses that are in alignment, that we actually create financial abundance, that we actually create in matter, right, in shape and matter, that which we know is possible. Yes, it's how we turn the potential into embodied 3D material. Yeah. And so when we really fine-tune that, yes, of coming, purifying, yes, going into the awakening process of understanding the workings of the universe and the energetics, and then we bring it down into our lives and our bodies as embodied wisdom experience, yes, this is where we actually choose to become the creators truly, yes, and not to just be leveraging and looping in spiritual awakenings and teachings and all the things, which is great, yes, but for us to really step into full and complete leadership, it really is about getting the car to run here, getting the rubber to meet the road here. You with your clients, you with your transactions, you with your relationships, with your marriages, with the thing that you're here to teach, yes? To actually bring it down right here into this earthly plane, yeah? And so we cannot be, I feel like there is a level where we are missing when we are staying in this spiritual dimension only. Yes, there's got to be a framework where we actually bring it down here concretely, yes? And so this is really the power of influence. This is where we influence our lives and where we influence our soul's mission as manifested form, and we claim ourselves as the creators of this life, yes? And not just, get lost in the spiritual teachings, but actually bring it down here. Test run it, fail, test run it again, fail, test run it again, fail. How does this actually work? How does it work for me? How does it work for you? How does it work truly, right? What is it that is actually working here and now? Because that truly, I feel, is where, we can have all the teachings in the world, but we will never be an empowered leader if we haven't actually embodied it, yes? So for me, this went through therapy, it went through receiving channelings, yes? I received the channelings of dance manifestation. I received them through astral projections first, yes? And then I had to try it. I had to try it on my own. I've been trying dance manifestation for a very long time. And even in the beginning I was doing it, I didn't even know that that's what I was doing, yes? And so these teachings were trickling to me from this fifth dimensional conscious dimension, but I had to be willing to test run them here in this dimension, in the third dimension. How does it actually work when I'm dancing in a specific way here? Yes. And so it's like this for every leader. Powerful leaders know what they're talking about because they have embodied the experience. Yes. They have embodied the wisdom that they have collected from the fifth dimensional conscious consciousness, and they have collected that and they have brought it down, yes, as books, as teachings, as modalities, as systems, as structures, as containers, as ceremony, as facilitation, retreats. Like, it's gotta be landing here in this container of the third dimension, where other humans can literally come and receive your medicine. Yes, so it goes through the embodiment of your own life and your own experience in your body, but it also goes into the creating the systems that are holding the frequency of that energy that you've collected up there. So please let me know your 2 takeaways from today's transmission. What is it that you're like, oh my goodness, I so need to work on this one? Which one, like, out of the 3? So the first one was purification. The second one was learning about the workings of the universe, the feminine, masculine energetics. And then the third one was being a human. Which one do you feel, right? Being human, being manifestation, like bringing it down into this earthly plane. Which one of these 3 do you feel are going to improve your leadership? I would love to know, and I would love to continue the conversation, whether you're joining me right here, right now, live, or later on replay. And yes, if you're feeling called to be there at the book launch party on Monday, feel free to join us. It's all available up in like in my cover picture. You can find the link to the event and you can just, join it. It's free. You can come and I'll be reading one of the excerpts from my chapter. And I'm so excited about having you there if you choose to come. Sending you so much love, my dear. Have a beautiful day wherever you are. I love you. See you soon.